Welcome to the Pleiadian Star Tribe talk show. It is so good to be here with you today.
It's wonderful to be here. I can feel the energy is already so bright for this one.
It really is. Okay, let's just dive right in. In our last deep dive, we explored some really deep waters of intuition and emotion, but today we're kind of taking a different turn. We're moving straight into the inner furnace, that center of individual power, of ambition and drive, and what I think of as true personal strength.
I love that you call it the inner furnace. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
We are absolutely undertaking a profound deep dive into the engine room of the self,
The engine room, yes.
which is, in the traditions, known as the Solar Plexus Chakra. You've all handed us this incredible comprehensive map of this energy center, sometimes called the Golden Core. And our mission today is, well, it's not just an introduction.
No, not all.
We're here to really extract the practical, the esoteric, and even the psychological insights that explain how this center governs your ability to act, to assert yourself, and ultimately to manifest your deepest potential in the world.
That idea of a map to our potential is it's so compelling to me. And when we talk about the center, we're talking about the Solar Plexus Chakra, or as it's known in Sanskrit, Manipura. That name alone feels so significant.
Oh, it is. It's the perfect place to start, actually, because the meaning of Manipura really sets the tone for its immense value. It translates quite literally to City of Jewels.
Wow, City of Jewels.
Right. So I want you to just for a moment, stop thinking of it as just a single point of energy. Instead, picture this fully realized, opulent, glowing metropolis contained entirely within you.
That completely changes the visual for me. It's not just a yellow light anymore.
Exactly. The name itself signifies that your center of personal power isn't meant to be a struggle or something you have to conquer. It is a profound, inherent repository of infinite radiant treasures. It's all about the intrinsic value of your unique will.
Okay, I am hooked. That image is so powerful. Let's immediately jump into the geography and the symbolism of this City of Jewels. Let's build that foundation.
Let's do it. So, first, we have to ground ourselves in its structure. Physically, the solar plexus is located in the upper abdomen. It's positioned right between the navel and the diaphragm.
So it's really in the core of the body.
Perfectly in the core, which is, it's no accident. It fits its role as the axis of your self-identity and your autonomous function perfectly.
And when we look at the energetics of it, the symbolism is just so strong. It's defined by a very specific color and this really profound visual.
That's right. The color associated with Manipura is golden yellow. And the sources are very clear about this. It's not just any yellow. You should feel it, experience it, like pure, radiant, high noon sunlight.
So it's warm, it's bright.
It's fiercely bright and intensely vital. And the traditional symbol for Manipura is an intricate 10-petaled lotus flower.
Now, the lotus symbol is common for many chakras, right? It's always about purity, rising above the mud. But for this one, those 10 petals seem really key to understanding the psychological side of the center. What do those 10 specific petals represent?
This is such a fantastic point, and it's one that a lot of introductory texts just gloss over. Those 10 petals are not random at all. They symbolize the 10 vrittis.
Vrittis?
Yes, vrittis, which are psychological tendencies or whirlpools of thought that this chakra is specifically designed to govern and overcome. These are the powerful emotional and psychological currents that can either drive you forward or completely obstruct your personal power.
So Manipura isn't just about having power, it's about navigating the emotional landscape that constantly threatens that power. That's a huge distinction. What kind of vrittis are we talking about here?
The sources list 10 very specific tendencies, and they are heavy. We're talking about deep shadow emotions like shame, which is laja in Sanskrit,
Shame.
jealousy or irsha,
Yeah.
delusion, moha, disgust, grina, fear, bhaya, foolishness, dainya, sadness, vishada.
This is a heavy list.
It is. There's also ignorance, ajnana, spiritual dullness, kashaya, and that intense gnawing craving, trishna. When the chakra is out of balance, these tendencies they run rampant in your life.
But when it's balanced.
When it's balanced, they don't disappear. They become understood.
Yeah.
They become fuel for transformation.
That is just. It's profound. It suggests that Manipura is the place where we really have to deal with our deepest, most human insecurities and then alchemize them into focused will. It's where the battle for self-respect is actually won.
Absolutely. And at the very heart of that 10-petaled lotus is the symbol that governs this whole operation, an inverted triangle.
An inverted triangle.
Yes. And it's crucial because it symbolizes the downward flow of the transformative power of its element, which is fire. It channels the light and heat from the cosmos, signifying the grounding and directing of that higher energy into tangible manifestation right here on Earth. That triangle is the vessel for the alchemical fire.
Okay, let's really unpack this connection to fire or Agni, because this feels like the absolute essence of the solar plexus's function.
It is the absolute core of it. The element of this chakra is fire. And fire represents pure transformation, unstoppable vitality, and the drive to assert the self. When we talk metaphorically about having fire in the belly,
We're literally talking about this.
we are literally referencing this energetic dynamo. Just like a physical fire takes raw fuel and cooks it, processes it, transforms it, this energetic fire takes raw instinct, emotional residue, life experience, and it transmutes all of it into focused, intelligent, directed will.
So it's like this highly sophisticated, energetic refinery. And that sun analogy isn't just a poetic little detail, it's actually functional. The sun sustains physical life, and this inner sun sustains our life's direction.
Precisely. The energy of the solar plexus nourishes your self-esteem, it fuels your motivation, and most critically, it establishes your clarity of direction. If you ever find yourself just drifting or paralyzed by indecision, or you just lack a sustained sense of purpose, that is the clearest sign that this inner fire, this Agni, is dim or blocked.
And we can link this fire element directly to the physical body through systems like Ayurveda, can't we? For anyone listening who understands the doshas, this must offer a really practical insight.
Oh, it's a perfect link. In the Ayurvedic system, the fire element is fundamentally linked to the Pitta dosha. Pitta governs metabolism, transformation, and digestion. So an imbalance in Manipura is an imbalance in Pitta.
How does that show up?
Well, when the fire is healthy, Pitta gives you intelligence, sharp focus, warm confidence. But when the fire is excessive, that's an overactive chakra. Pitta manifests as physical heat, intense competitiveness, anger, even acid reflux.
And when it's deficient?
When it's deficient, an underactive chakra, Pitta shows up as poor assimilation, slow metabolism, and a real difficulty in converting your ideas into actual action. It shows us this direct, beautiful overlap between the philosophical and the biological.
That technical depth is exactly what makes this a true deep dive. The physical governance here is it's strikingly literal.
It is a beautiful example of the body just mirroring the spirit. The solar plexus chakra governs the entire digestive system and all of our metabolic processes. This symbolizes the literal way you digest and assimilate your food, but also how you process difficult, complex, or challenging life experiences and transform them into growth.
So if you're struggling to, say, digest a breakup or a job loss.
Exactly. When you struggle to metabolize a difficult relationship or a shocking event, it will often manifest as tangible physical digestive issues.
Yeah.
Your gut literally can't process it.
I'm also recalling that the term solar plexus, the anatomical name, it refers to a bundle of nerves. Can you elaborate on that physical linkage? Because that has to be why it's so tied to our stress responses.
Absolutely. The solar plexus, or the celiac plexus, is one of the largest concentrations of nerve tissue outside of the brain itself. It's this intricate, complex network of nerves and ganglia located directly behind the stomach.
So it's like a second brain, in a way.
People often call it that. It's the anatomical headquarters for so many of our unconscious, automatic functions of our internal organs. And what's more, it is deeply connected to the sympathetic nervous system, the body's fight-or-flight response.
Ah, so that's the connection.
That's the one. When you feel that sudden punch of anxiety or fear, that gut feeling, it is literally the celiac plexus activating, which is why learning to balance Manipura is absolutely essential for emotional regulation.
So managing our willpower isn't just some abstract spiritual work. It's literally regulating our central nervous system through our breath, our awareness, and our digestion.
Precisely. It's directly associated with the pancreas, which regulates your blood sugar and energy stability, the liver, which detoxifies your body and metabolizes fats, and the stomach, which starts the whole physical digestion process. These organs are the physical conduits for the energy that sustains you, linking your physical vitality directly to your psychological capacity for assertion and confidence.
It's also interconnected. It's beautiful. And just to tie off this foundational section, what's the vibrational key for the center? The bija mantra.
The bija mantra, or the seed sound that we use to vibrate and stimulate this fire element, is Ram. It's pronounced like Ram.
Ram.
Yes. And repeating this sound in meditation focuses the prana, the life force directly into this nerve center, gently stirring the agni and strengthening the will.
Okay, that is a fantastic foundation. Now let's move from the physical geography to the spiritual function. If we visualize the whole chakra system stacked, why is Manipura positioned right there in the middle, between the raw instinctual centers below and the higher intuitive centers above? What is its unique role in that spiritual hierarchy?
Spiritually, Manipur is not just a hub. It's the definitive energetic bridge. It's the great converter. It sits right in the middle, connecting the three lower chakras, the root, which deals with physical instinct and survival.
Right, our most primal needs.
Exactly. And the sacral, which deals with our raw emotion, our creativity, our pleasure. It connects those to the higher centers, the heart, the throat, and the third eye, which govern love, communication, and higher awareness.
So it's like a high-level translator. It takes that dense, primal energy of instinct and raw emotion and it refines it, converting it into something focused and directed.
That is the perfect way to describe the alchemy of will. It receives the untamed, wild energy from below and converts it into focused, intelligent, directed willpower. Without this conversion process, our drive just remains purely reactive.
What do you mean by reactive?
We operate based on our fears or tribal pressures from our family or society, or even just an addiction to pleasure. But with this conversion, our drive becomes conscious creation. It becomes rooted in a higher purpose.
And this shift from reaction to conscious creation, that sounds like the defining feature of an awakened solar plexus. It means the energy isn't just driving us anymore, we are driving the energy.
Absolutely. This is the monumental shift from being a passive recipient of life's events, where you're constantly reacting to fear or external demands, to actively authoring your own life. When Manipura is awakened and flowing, your actions come from a place of deep inner alignment, purpose, and clear intention.
So you stop operating from that place of insecurity.
You cease operating from the residue of deep-seated insecurity, and you step forward as a conscious co-creator of your reality.
Okay, I want to pose a critical challenge here because the sources must address this. In our modern world, we see so many people who achieve massive external success, wealth, fame, power, but they do it through this highly aggressive, controlling, often ruthless behavior. It looks like power, but it feels like it's born from a deep insecurity. How do the sources distinguish that kind of external success from the internal radiating power you're describing?
That is the crucial tension of this chakra. It's the difference between what we call egoic power and true integrated will. Egoic power, which is driven by an overactive Manipura, seeks to dominate and control the environment and other people because, deep down, it fears its own internal emptiness.
So it needs external validation. It needs other people to submit to feel strong.
Exactly. It's a power that's fundamentally rooted in fear. But the source material is completely unequivocal on this. True power does not need to dominate or control. It simply radiates. It's an inherent, stable, inner light.
So true power doesn't need to prove itself.
It never needs to prove its strength through aggression or volume. It simply is. It is the quiet, unshakable knowing of your own worth.
This sounds a lot like that sacred balance between control and surrender. We need to be intentional enough to aim our lives, but also flexible enough to accept what the universe delivers back to us.
Holding that duality is the hallmark of integration. It's a very advanced state. You need that proactive focus and self-discipline that comes from conscious control to set a goal and execute a plan. Of course you do. But you must also possess the humility and the grace to surrender, to trust the natural flow of life and let go of these obsessive, narrow outcomes.
That's the real work, isn't it?
That gentle, powerful harmony is the ultimate spiritual teaching of Manipura. It's having the strength to act and the wisdom to know when to rest.
So beautiful. Let's visualize this optimal state then. That midday sun steady and powerful. It's not blazing into a destructive fire, but it's not flickering weakly either. What does a balanced, freely flowing solar plexus actually look like in our day-to-day lives?
The sources describe the overall state as one of profound personal agency. When this energy is flowing freely, you feel inherently empowered. You feel naturally radiant and authentically self-assured. You're grounded in your deepest truth, which creates this unshakable inner compass.
An inner compass. I love that.
It means you inherently trust your instincts, even when the path forward is uncertain, because you know your internal processing center is reliable.
And that foundational sense of self-trust seems to be the essential ingredient. It's what separates a balanced person from someone who's just striving and insecure all the time. It takes away that need for constant external validation.
It is absolutely the key outcome. And this trust It manifests in very specific positive behaviors. For example, when Manipura is balanced, you feel genuinely confident in your abilities. You feel highly capable of achieving complex goals. And the internal dialogue in your head is supportive, not critical, which frees up an immense amount of energy.
And how does that internal confidence translate into external action?
It translates into purposeful, clarified action. You move forward with conviction. You avoid the pitfalls of procrastination, or on the flip side, you avoid that aimless, frantic busy work. Your action is rooted in a robust and healthy sense of identity. You know who you are, what you stand for, and what your purpose is, even if it shifts and evolves over time.
And that strong sense of self is what allows for healthy boundary setting, which is, I mean, that is such a huge challenge for so many of us today.
Boundary work is one of the most practical and visible signs of a healthy solar plexus.
Hmm?
It gives you that quiet, resolute strength to assert your needs, to say yes when you mean yes and no when you need to protect your energy.
And to do it without guilt.
Without guilt and without needing to defend that choice aggressively or apologize for your very existence. You hold your space.
Beyond that self-respect, there's also a sense of forward momentum too, right?
Yes. A balanced Manipura ensures you feel consistently motivated. You feel ambitious in a healthy way, and you're genuinely driven toward goals that actually align with your deepest values. This drive is sustained, you know? It's like a slow-burning log in a fire, not a momentary flash of flame that burns out.
And we have to mention the physical reflections of this optimal state, especially given the chakra's governance over digestion.
Oh, absolutely. Physically, the body reflects this harmonious processing.
Hmm.
You digest your food easily, but more importantly, you digest your life experiences efficiently. There's less physical inflammation and sluggishness because the energetic processing of stress is so effective. The organs connected to the center, the liver, the pancreas, they just function optimally.
And finally, how does this inner state project outward to other people?
It results in this authentic presence. You start to inspire others simply by being yourself. You don't have to push or preach or demand attention. Your inner light just naturally encourages others to seek their own truth, often without you even realizing it. A balanced Manipura is a beacon, not a spotlight that's demanding attention.
I love that. A beacon, not a spotlight. Okay, so the journey to this balance is not linear. And the sources really stress that this energy, because it's elemental fire, is particularly prone to imbalance. It can swing violently in two very distinct directions. And both of these extremes, they lead to suffering and they cloud that inner light.
We really have to analyze both sides of this coin because most listeners will probably find themselves oscillating between the two at different times in their lives. Let's start with the deficient state, the underactive solar plexus. This is where the fire is dim, like embers that are just struggling to catch light.
When that core fire is flickering, the main feeling must be this chronic sense of powerlessness, right?
Exactly. This central manifestation is a profound lack of sustained energy and assertion. And this translates immediately into cripplingly low self-esteem or chronic self-doubt. You're constantly questioning your decisions, your fundamental worth. The fear of choosing the wrong thing is so immense that it results in total decisional paralysis.
I see this so often, and it manifests as a kind of victimhood pattern. The person feels unable to take responsibility for their circumstances because taking responsibility would require them to acknowledge that they have personal power to change things.
That's a key psychological link. There is a deeply ingrained fear of rejection or failure. Because if your self-worth is already scraping the bottom, any external challenge feels like a complete existential threat. Furthermore, there's this noticeable lack of motivation or purpose. The necessary fuel, the agony, to start, sustain, and complete projects it's absent.
And the body mirrors this lack of assertion.
The fire is too cool. So physically, you see chronic fatigue, sluggish or poor digestion, maybe weight gain due to a slow metabolism, and a real difficulty assimilating nutrients from food. But crucially, the behavioral manifestation is this tendency to consistently give away your personal power.
How does that look?
The individual seeks validation and approval externally. They allow others, their family, their partner, their employer, to dictate their path because they just don't trust their own judgment. They feel safer in the shadow of someone else's will.
Now let's look at the terrifying mirror image of that, the excessive overactive state. What happens when that inner fire rages out of control and starts burning everything around it?
When the fire rages, it transforms from an illuminating warmth into a destructive, uncontrolled blaze. The person compensates for a deep internal insecurity by attempting to impose their will violently on the external world. This manifests as highly aggressive, domineering, or controlling behavior. They fundamentally confuse force with strength.
So that intense drive for external control is just a defense mechanism. It's defending against the internal feeling of being fundamentally out of control or insecure.
Absolutely. And excessive manipura often breeds perfectionism, tyranny, and severe workaholism, this relentless inability to rest or release control. It's driven by a compulsive need for external accomplishment to justify their existence. There's a tremendous amount of internal heat, leading to intense judgment, both cruel criticism toward the self and excessive irritability toward others. Anger becomes the primary mode of communication.
And the physical body suffers from that internal furnace too. The fire becomes corrosive.
Oh, completely. The digestive issues in this state are inflammatory and acute. We see chronic acid reflux, peptic ulcers, extreme bowel inflammation, burning sensations. The internal system is literally cooking itself from the inside out. When we look at this imbalance, we realize we are not aiming for maximum brightness. That maximum setting is unstable and destructive.
We are aiming for that sustainable, gentle, powerful warmth of a long-lasting fire, that sweet spot of harmony.
The goal is gentle harmony between these extremes. It's finding the balance between confident strength and necessary softness, between proactive action and the humility to know when to rest and surrender to a higher current. It's ambition, but an ambition tempered by peace.
This is so critical because recognizing the imbalance is really only the first step. Shifting it requires intentional work. So if we identify with either that flicker or the raging flame, how do we begin the practical alchemy of bringing the solar plexus back to that steady midday sun balance? We have 6 techniques from the sources, each offering a distinct path. Let's start with technique 1, which focuses on internal regulation, meditation, and visualization.
Meditation is the most direct route into the city of jewels. The sources emphasize a practice that is simple, but deeply potent. You just sit comfortably and place your dominant hand directly over your solar plexus region.
And that physical connection is important.
That physical connection immediately focuses your intention and your attention right onto that nerve center. It establishes the communication channel. Then the visualization begins. You imagine a sphere of brilliant golden yellow light radiating specifically from your core. You visualize this sun growing progressively brighter, warmer, and more stable with every deep, intentional breath you take.
And the intention here is key, I imagine.
The critical intention here is to watch this light dissolving any subtle fears, any lingering shame, that lajja or paralyzing self-doubt, the dinya. You're replacing that density with pure, stable confidence and vitality.
And this is where we would bring in that acoustic key, the bija mantra.
Absolutely. While you're holding that visualization and breathing deeply, you repeat the mantra, Ram. That sonic vibration provides the precise frequency needed to gently stoke and stabilize the fire element, helping to clear out residual blockages and strengthen the flow of prana through the celiac plexus.
Okay, technique. 2 moves from that internal awareness to verbal reprogramming. Affirmations. This seems crucial for overcoming the chronic negative self-talk that really defines the underactive manipura.
Affirmations are the conscious effort to override the deeply embedded limiting narratives that are stored in the subconscious mind. Since manipura governs our self-identity, we have to intentionally feed it positive, empowering truths.
Can you share some of the specific examples the sources provide for daily use?
Of course. The sources offer some very powerful, directed statements you can repeat daily. I am strong, confident, and capable. Or, I honor the fire within me. To address those boundary issues, you can use, I stand firmly in my personal power with love and grace.
I like that with love and grace part. It's not aggressive.
Not at all. And to address decisional paralysis, I take action with courage and clear purpose. The context for using these is also key. You want to repeat them consistently, but especially before a task that requires assertiveness or an important decision. You're anchoring that feeling of inherent capability right when you need it most.
Let's move to technique 3, movement and exercise. This speaks directly to the elemental nature of this chakra fire demands motion.
Yes. Since the solar plexus is anatomically and energetically core-focused, stimulating that physical region directly stimulates the energy flow. Stagnant energy is the enemy of manipura balance. The sources specifically recommend core-focused movements that activate internal heat and twisting motions.
Like yoga twists, sabinal twists, which physically stimulate the organs associated with the chakra?
Precisely. Twists literally wring out the digestive organs and directly massage the celiac plexus, helping to release stored tension, emotional rigidity, and stagnant prana. Things like planks and other core stabilizers build not just physical strength, but the energetic containment necessary to hold your power steadily.
And then there's that powerful breathing technique you mentioned earlier.
Yes, the breath of fire, or Kapalabhati. This involves rapid, forceful exhales that are driven sharply from the core. For the listener, it's important to understand the mechanism here. This technique generates immense internal heat, and it oxygenates the Manipura region. You are literally fanning the inner flame.
So this would be great for someone feeling lethargic.
It's an immediate awakener for those struggling with lethargy or low motivation. It helps to burn away that ajnana, the ignorance, and the kashaya, that spiritual dullness.
And beyond specific exercises, general movement is also good.
Any activity that requires passion and engagement of the core, like dynamic dancing, disciplined martial arts, or even just a fast-paced walk outdoors where you're intentionally exposing your core to natural sunlight. All of these help to awaken vitality and release stagnant emotional energy that might be stuck in the gut.
Technique 4 focuses on fuel, foods, and herbs. This connects right back to that physical governance and the Pitta dosha.
To fuel the inner sun, we consume foods that resonate with its vibrational frequency, so the color golden yellow. These foods should also support the Agni fire without overly inflaming it. So think of easy-to-digest yellow foods: bananas, corn, yellow peppers, pineapple. These all support the physical organs governed by Manipura by providing clean, stable energy.
And what about herbs and spices? We need things that support digestion and transformation.
We specifically use herbs and spices known to strengthen the digestive fire in a balanced way. Ginger and turmeric are phenomenal. They stimulate bile flow, they aid detoxification from the liver, and they increase internal heat without causing corrosion. Lemons and other sour flavors also help to stimulate metabolism. And chamomile tea is recommended not just because it's calming, but because it soothes the digestive tract, helping the system process lice input more smoothly and reducing that internal irritation often caused by unexpressed anger.
Okay, technique 5 brings in the sophisticated use of vibrational assistance, crystals and stones.
Crystals provide a stable, measurable, energetic vibration that can help harmonize the chakra's energy field. For Manipura, we're looking for stones that embody that golden, confident, and empowering frequency.
Citrine is the classic choice here, right? It's often called the merchant stone.
Citrine is just concentrated, happy sun energy in a stone. It boosts joy, sustainable confidence, and it attracts abundance. Its warm vibration actively helps dissolve the vritti of sadness, the vishada. Then you have tiger's eye, which is essential for energetic protection and encouraging courage. Its fibrous structure gives it this dense, protective frequency, helping you hold your boundaries against external energy drains.
And for those who need to build endurance and stay the course.
That would be yellow jasper. It provides incredible energetic stamina. It strengthens your endurance and willpower, which is perfect for overcoming that vritti of procrastination.
Totally.
And we can forget amber. As fossilized tree resin, it's exceptionally good at absorbing and transmuting negativity, enhancing your general vitality, and just making you feel lighter and brighter.
And how do we use these? What's the application?
Simple and intentional. You can wear them as a pendant near your solar plexus, or place them directly on your abdomen during that visualization meditation to align your energy field with their stable vibration.
The final technique, Technique 6, is just so poetic and simple. It loops right back to the very first analogy we used: light and sun energy.
The solar plexus, as our inner sun, has an inherent symbiotic relationship with the outer sun. This is the simplest external alignment practice there is. Just spend intentional time outdoors. Allow the natural sunlight to warm your core and your skin. And this should be done with a conscious intention of gratitude and absorption.
It's like a physical daily affirmation that our internal fire is supported by the great cosmic fire.
Exactly. The sun's energy affirms the truth that our own inner light is eternal and unconditional, regardless of whether we currently feel cloudy or stressed or bright. It directly helps us absorb that radiant quality and translate it into psychological confidence. We've covered the structure, the psychology, and the practical remedies. Now let's synthesize the deep spiritual wisdom that crystallizes when we successfully commit to balancing our Manipura. What is the ultimate transformative gift this chakra offers us?
The ultimate gift is the alchemy of transformation fully realized. This is the deepest lesson: the practical ability to consciously recycle and refine dense, negative experiences into pure, focused, positive power. It teaches you how to turn the residue of past pain and trauma into active, propelling personal power.
It's energetic recycling at its most sophisticated. So instead of allowing painful experiences to create a blockage or lead to chronic self-doubt, we run them through that inner fire, transform the energy, and then use the refined product to move forward.
It invites you to step fully into the role of the conscious creator, utilizing every challenge, every perceived failure as essential fuel. This prevents external events from defining your internal narrative or dampening your spirit. You stop being a victim of circumstance, and you become the alchemist of your own destiny.
And tie into that transformation is the fundamental spiritual lesson of self-trust, which sounds so easy but is profoundly difficult in a society that is constantly asking us to look outward for validation.
This is fundamental to spiritual maturity. Balancing Manipura results in the unwavering realization that the golden spark within you, that core eternal light, is your highest intelligence and your most reliable compass. When you genuinely trust that inner wisdom, you begin to align your personal will with a higher cosmic will.
And when that alignment is achieved, there's no conflict between what you desire and what the flow of life is delivering to you.
The sources affirm that when you align your will with truth, you become unstoppable. Now, this doesn't mean you never face challenges, but it means that your actions flow effortlessly from truth and purpose, not from the chaotic demands of the ego or the paralysis of insecurity. There is no internal resistance to slow you down.
And practically, this leads us to the most powerful interpersonal skill developed here, the chakra of boundaries and energetic integrity.
This is the critical practical implication of healthy personal power in all of our relationships. When you operate from a place of strong, balanced will, you know inherently when to commit, when to say yes with absolute conviction, and just as important, when to protect yourself by saying no with quiet love and respect.
That specific distinction, saying no with love, that is the definitive hallmark of integrated solar plexus energy. It's not defensive or aggressive, it's simply stating your internal truth.
A truly healthy Manipura allows you to give generously and receive graciously without ever sacrificing your core needs or depleting your energy reserves. You are not compelled to play the martyr, nor are you compelled to control others. Your core is full and stable, making all your interactions authentic, respectful, and rooted in self-respect, not obligation.
That sense of quiet, absolute internal completeness, that is the destination of this journey. Let's leave our listener with a powerful guiding visualization from the source material, something they can use immediately to anchor this feeling of power.
We invite you to just pause for a moment right now, wherever you are. Take a deep, settling breath and gently close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing in a vast golden field, bathed entirely in the light of a radiant midday sun. Feel the warmth penetrating your skin, warming your heart, and gathering powerfully in the center of your core, just above your navel.
Feel the power and the warmth crystallizing at that center, making it feel solid and pure. Breathe deeply, fanning that inner flame with the sound of the word Ram as you exhale.
And as you breathe, whisper these foundational affirmations to yourself, really internalizing the truth of your inherent worth. I am the light of my own life.
I release fear and embrace my power and authority.
I move forward with purpose, grace, and unstoppable courage.
Now feel that golden light expand dynamically from your center outward. Feel it moving through your chest, flowing down your arms, filling your head with clarity, and grounding down through your feet into the earth until your entire being is glowing, radiating out into the world around you. This golden light is the manifestation of your essence, radiant, confident, and perfectly divine.
Just hold that for another breath.
What an expansive and necessary deep dive. The core message that emerges from these sources is so clear. The solar plexus chakra is your absolute inner sun, the non-negotiable, transformational source of sustained willpower, unshakable confidence, and your authentic identity.
When you commit to honoring and balancing this powerful fire, you empower yourself to take true, conscious control of your life. And this control is achieved not through harsh discipline or external force, but with genuine self-compassion, clear intention, and inner strength. The ultimate wisdom this setter offers is that true power is not about dominance. It's about deep authenticity, purpose, and the quiet, resolute knowing that you are enough exactly as you are.
Nurturing this chakra allows you to step into the world not as a seeker of approval or validation, which just drains your energy, but as a
That inner light is the constant truth that is always waiting for you to acknowledge and utilize it.
So, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to anchor your practice this week. Consider one specific area of your life. It could be a conversation, a task, a relationship where you currently feel the fire is dim and you find yourself reacting out of that vidi of insecurity or self-doubt rather than creating from a place of clear purpose. Now, choose just one practical step we discussed today.
Just one.
Just one. Perhaps intentionally incorporating ginger and turmeric into a meal, or engaging in a 10-minute session of core-focused exercise like Kapalabhati or planks, and intentionally apply that action to shift your energetic center.
Then just observe. Observe that critical connection between the physical act, the fire element, and the resulting psychological shift in your decision-making. Explore the concept of divine will as it applies to your highest ambition.
Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive, and we encourage you to continue shining your magnificent light fearlessly and freely. We'll talk to you next time.